Hello and welcome to day 81 of The Longing. I dreamed about my death. First I heard a scream, and then I fell from a great height. It reminds me of... I heard from Oni Plays, Zach Psychic Pebbles talking about Frankie Muniz. Is it Frankie Muniz? Is that his name? Whatever. The guy from Malcolm in the Middle. There must be a way to get up there. The guy from Malcolm in the Middle, and how apparently he was a race car driver or something after Malcolm in the Middle, and he had so many terrible head injuries that he has forgotten a lot of his childhood, including the filming of Malcolm in the Middle. I'm gonna see if I can harvest a mushroom. Oh my god. Cool. I didn't expect that. Yeah. I want to see if I can grow a mushroom right next to this. And then maybe the mushroom will grow. And it'll make a ladder up there. Also, is there just a climb? Spec mushroom. Slowly regrowing here. Maybe we can get the spider, our spider friend, to go up there. Let's see if we can pick up another cool mushroom and take it with us. Light the way. Mushroom. It's glowing in the dark. Maybe these are different than the mushrooms from home. I thought they were the same. Well, anyway, he had Frankie Muniz had so many horrible head injuries he forgot, and he had like amnesia, and so he could re-watch episodes of Malcolm in the Middle and be like, "Oh, I did this, cool." But specifically, it's really dark, but darkly funny. He's apparently has like a Twitter account where he posts like really sad and like dark posts, like, "I woke up today from a dream where I was shot all over my body and I could feel the bullets piercing through my skin." And he's just had this really dark, sad personality ever since like these accidents that have crippled his like brain and such or whatever. I don't know. It's so dark, it's funny. The poor guy. But what I actually wanted to talk about today, was addiction and portrayals of addiction in media. I think have been some of the most emotional things that I've ever seen, and yet I personally have never struggled with any sort of addiction. The closest I can relate to any of that would be to my need to sleep. I feel like I tend to sleep between 10 and 12 hours a day. So that's a lot. That's more than the vast majority of people. And when I try not to, I'm so addicted to it, even when, like, I don't really need it at times. Oh, what's this? This is a very pretty mushroom room. Maybe I need the green ones to be able to climb. Some of those mushrooms seem to have grown quite immense. Okay, yeah, definitely need the green ones to be planted over in that place to be able to climb. That's definitely how it works. Well, regardless, let's put this one down. The perfect soil for mushrooms of all kinds. Okay, what's this little halfway here? Is there something I can... Oh, use Matic. Let's see how far I will get. Yeah, I wish I could keep the music and not hear the pick sound effect, because it's a little too annoying. Well, the one thing that I just immediately thought about just now, even though I hadn't thought about it before recording this episode, was Requiem for a Dream. That's about addiction and dark places, but that's not that was a very emotional thing to watch, but that's not really what I'm talking about. One of the most like emotional things for me has been there is a one of the first episodes of Mushishi, which is a fantastic anime. If you're someone who doesn't like anime because of like dumb bullshit tropes, but you do like slow paced, calm stuff, you'll probably love Mushishi because it doesn't do dumb anime tropes or anything. It's just a very slow, very calm, for the most part. There are actually some randomly interspaced scary episodes, and like scary is in like, well, let me just explain Mushishi a bit, because Mushishi is great. Mushishi is this story about a guy who goes from village to village, and there are these little nature spirits called Mushi, and the main character who goes from place to place, his name's Ginkgo, and he helps people with problems that come about because of mankind's interaction with these little nature spirits that sometimes goes wrong, or any number of things. And usually the idea is like he helps the people understand what to do, or he helps them by giving them some medicine that'll like prevent this negative interaction with the Mushi. But in specific, the episode I want to talk about is called Those Who Inhale the Dew. And it's about this island village where there is a very special flower that has special mushi in it. And if you inhale the scent of this flower, you'll also inhale the mushi. And when you do that, the mushi, it it attaches itself to the person who inhaled it. It it becomes like a parasite onto that person. And the mushi's life cycle is a very quick life cycle of, it lives for about a day and then it dies, but as soon as it dies, a new one of it, or it's basically reborn. And so it has this life cycle of a single day. But what's special about the mushi is it makes its host follow this time scale as well, where the host will be born at the start of a day, and then the host will die at the end of the day and be reborn every time. Granted, I'm not getting much further here. What a disappointment. Oh, there's nothing here. So when they die and they're reborn, they're not to be confused with a separate episode. There's a very similar other episode, but in this particular episode, Those Who Inhale the Dew, the person who's reborn is the same person, but they, as long as they are the host of this mushi, they experience life as if they are sort of a newborn child, or not a newborn child, but like they're experiencing life as if everything is going super quickly and everything is new and exciting. Every like sunrise is like it's the first most beautiful sunrise you've ever seen. Every single experience that you have while you are the host for this mushi is the most beautiful. It's new, it's fresh, and it's exciting, but you lose some level of like, you're you, but you're also sort of like a newborn child, and you don't have the same level of like cognizance about you. It's hard to describe. It's a drug metaphor. I wonder if the green mushrooms taste just as good as the other ones. That makes me have to try it. Harvest mushroom. Hopefully we don't die. A mushroom. I'll handle it with care. Let's see. Oh, no. Almost threw up. Okay, we're not gonna try anymore. No more of these. So, obvious drug metaphor of these people who take this and they're themselves, but they're different and they're experiencing life differently while they're doing this. And the Ginkgo, the main character, yeah, let's see how far I will get. He tries to help the people, and remove these parasites from the people of the island, but a lot of them cannot handle going back to, like, they regain like their themselves as they were before when they lose the parasite, and they become like they have their wits again to the fullest extent. But a lot of these people, after experiencing and being able to experience life anew every day, everything being a fresh, beautiful experience, when they go back to being a regular person living normally, they can't do it anymore. It's too painful, it's too boring, it's not the same. And these people, they go right back to the flowers and they inhale the dew again, and they go back to being these children wandering around, experiencing the beauty of the world for the first time every single day. And they need people to take care of them, but the village, there's enough people that don't do this that they are able to take care of them. And you might think, well, this sounds great because you can just if you can just have Ginkgo help you. But in reality, what happens is that when you take it the second time, the parasite embeds more strongly, and you can never have it taken out again. So the people, they just live like that forever after that period. And it's a lot of episodes of it. One reason I love Mushishi is because you don't know at the beginning of the episode, you don't know if Ginkgo is going to like have a happy ending or not, or a really dark ending, or a bittersweet ending. And this ending was a bittersweet, semi-dark ending, because, like, on the one hand, I guess it's okay because these people made that decision. But on the other hand, this is a story about addicts who can't handle the world normally and so have to retreat into a separate world that's more beautiful for them. And they lose a part of themselves in that pursuit of being able to deal with the trouble of the world, and being able to enjoy the world this different way is taken away a part of themselves in a sense. But they chose that. So, and the music really reflects that incredible bittersweet, to the point where a lot of the times just hearing that soundtrack, I can't help but tear up. I'm gonna see if I can play a little bit of that, because I assume that I'm not gonna get like some horrible copyright strike that's gonna get me shot in the face by lawyers. I assume it's fine. It'll just say in the comments or in the description what the song is. But also, I assume that this song probably, without the emotional, nostalgic weight behind it, probably has no real emotion attached to it for other people as it does for me. But for me, this song is really intensely just wow, because of the attachment of the emotions to it, I think. Can't recommend. I cannot recommend Mushishi enough. That said, I haven't finished the second season, which is Mushishi Zoku no Zhao, something along those lines. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't even remember if that's even close to how it sounded. But one thing about Mushishi is it can be kind of hit or miss. It can sometimes it's very episodic, like Twilight Zone or whatever, where sometimes the episodes, the lamer ones, are just sort of like a Mushi showed up and nobody, and the Mushi's doing something bad, Ginkgo shows up to help. He gives people medicine, and he fixes it. The end. And it's kind of lame sometimes. Let's see. Use Matic. Is this as far as we go? Granted, I'm not getting much further here. What a disappointment. That is a disappointment. This is one of those rooms where there's just nothing. Well, I spent a whole lot of time just talking about Mushishi, but I was also, I guess, gonna talk about, in Mother Horse Eyes, the idea of addiction and such. There's one part of Mother Horse Eyes that does not, on the surface, seem like it has anything to do with addiction. There is a part about a Nazi officer in a death camp, and most of it is completely unrelated to addiction, but there is one scene where he's talking to a Jewish man who is exposed to LSD and has therefore had his mind fractured and has been exposed to what he calls God. And in this conversation with this Jew, the Nazi officer, let's see, where am I going with this? In the conversation with the Jewish guy, he says, when he's asked about, like, why don't you, if you've met God, why are you resisting God's plan? If God is, like, all-powerful, why are you even bothering to try and stop it? And for reference, the guy said that when he learned God's plan is terrifying, and when he refers to God, he's referring to the mother of Mother Horse Eyes, the terrifying flesh creature that may well be God in the world of Mother Horse Eyes. But what he talks about when he's asked how he can possibly resist God's plan if he is like this vessel for God now that he's been exposed to the LSD, he says something along the lines of, sometimes the mother sleeps. There are moments where you can push forward and go against the plan. And I'm also going to eat this mushroom, see what happens when I eat a glowy mushroom. Anything going to happen? No. Nothing. Good. I didn't want anything bad to happen. Let's see. Will this spider... I hope... Let's see. Is this going to break the web or not? Okay, good. We didn't break the web. Cool. So, he says there are times to when the mother is watching, in which you can only go along with the plan, and you're just forced along with it. And there are times when she rests, in which you can go against that plan, that dark path. And I think that feels like that has something to do with addiction, of someone feeling like there are times in which they can only follow their addiction, and then there are moments of clarity and rest in which they are able to move away from it. It reminds me of in that episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, where they're talking with King Boomy, who's been trapped by the Fire Nation, and they ask him why he's not resisting, and he says he draws parallels to a board game in which you can be doing more than defending or attacking. You can also be neutral and you can wait for an opportune time, and it's frozen for me. Is it frozen for you guys? Okay, we're unfrozen. Been getting a lot of freezes in this upper area of the caves. But there are moments where you can be neutral and you can wait for an opportunity. And it reminds me of that. And maybe I'm not easily getting across why exactly I feel like this feels to me like another nod to addiction as a theme. This idea of waiting for an opportunity in a situation where it feels like there's nothing you can do and there's some sort of horrible higher power forcing you to do things. It reminds me of the way people talk about addiction. Addiction has always been something that I have had some trouble relating to because of that feeling that I have good impulse control. But I can't help but wonder, is it that I have good impulse control, or is it that I do not have as intense impulses as other people? Can I really be so arrogant to say that like I am better than other people, have more control over myself, when I don't know for certain that I might, maybe all of my impulses thus far have been pathetic in comparison to people who are going through addictions and such. Like, I, for me, I don't get hungry very often, so and I'm gonna wait right here and see if I can get the little eyes closed option so that I can walk around and see if anything changes when my eyes are closed. But for now, maybe I should end an episode here and talk to you guys later. This is not really the greatest place to end an episode, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I just am. All right, see you guys later.